So Jeff, you have more experience. You're wiser. Your kids are older than mine. Like it gets better, right? Like it gets better, right?
Yeah, no.
Why wouldn't you lie?
No, ran through my head. Nope, doesn't get better. Sorry.
The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
And I am Jeff. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
So it doesn't get better. That's
No, it doesn't. Straight up, man.
Oh,
blunt.
Man. Well, that's great to know. But listen, before we even get into it here, we wanted to issue a bit of an apology. We really do take the show seriously and want to try to get onto a consistent schedule. But listen, you're dads. We're dads. It is many ways falling apart. I mean, the good news is kids are starting to go back to school. We're hoping to kind of get off the crazy summer schedule, but between a couple awful nights, and leads kind of right into the first story. Waking up right now for myself is a bizarre experience because I just never know where I'm going to wake up. Yep. I wake up and it's just, where am I now? Because at the moment, my 3-year-old, who's generally a pretty good sleeper, like I can't really complain about it, but there's a flow.
That's good.
He does as you well know, all you dads, it's about routine, and if you get them into routine, it pays dividends. Yeah. So it's bath, books, bedtime.
Oh, and 3 Bs.
The 3 Bs. 3 Bs to success.
B3. Yep.
Now, what's interesting, like I've been kicked out of story time. I'm not allowed to read stories anymore. Only mom.
It wasn't because of something you did, right? You like read the wrong book or something?
I am a great storyteller. My voice is fantastic.
Okay, I was about to say, like, do you do the voices? Are there different voices for each character? Come on. What's the scoop?
It is energetic. It is thorough. We're pointing stuff out. No, it's just a preference for mom. These things happen. It's cylindrical. It happens. And however, the stories end, and then it's dad's turn to come in and lie down with him for a bit as he falls asleep. And I try my best not to have him like fully asleep when I leave because I want him to like be aware that I'm leaving. Yeah. So like, I'm leaving now, so he's not going to wake up and, hey, where are you? Yeah. The problem is I sometimes don't wake up because I am so tired that it's just, I pass out and I'll sometimes wake up 4 or 5 hours later in a complete state of confusion of where the heck I am. But that's carried over to my bed where like I'm waking up sometimes there like, whoa, where am I? Is this my bed? Where am I? Like it's so often, and I've woken up to some messages from Jeff saying, "So we recording? We recording?" Or it's like, okay, well, I guess we'll pick it up tomorrow. Yeah, because I've just blown through it. So yeah, we are doing everything we can to try to get on a normal schedule, and it's not our intention to ever miss. But as I said, you're dads. Yeah, you know what's up.
Exactly. It happens. Dad times happen.
So it struck me though, and it's kind of like with a starting question. I mean, I think about people I've talked to, people I've seen, even stories I've heard about where, and the thing that got me, it's with NFL football. I'm not a massive NFL fan. Mm-hmm. I've started to get into some teams. I enjoy it. Go New York Jets. The terrible team to like, by the way. But I just started to get into it a bit, and it just came to me that I can't watch this because it's like Sunday, just right in the middle of the day, right? And especially on the weekend, like it's just prime time, kid time. Like it's all hands on deck. There's 2 of them ramping around. Like you got to watch it, but it feels like, and maybe it's just perception, but it feels like some dads have it on lock, where it's like, no, Sunday's dad's time, or at least like this stretch of time, and we're gonna watch the TV, and maybe you're in the same room, but it's a scheduled father time to do like that one activity that he really loves. Now, again, I'll stress, it's not like I love the NFL and I'm pining for it. So
time.
The thought of it, of like, or if I wanted to play a game on Sunday, or if I wanted to, find that thing at this juncture, you just can't. Like it's chaos, and you're trying to contain the hurricane.
Yeah.
And is that something that starts to melt away and you start to get some dad time back on the weekend, or is it just you wait till they're in university?
Well, from my personal experience, no, it doesn't ever melt away.
Hooray!
You know what breaks you get is like that blocked out time is usually like, mommy and daddy need a rest. Go and do something for a bit until we're recharged to get back into it. Because weekends are busy. Weekends.
That's still hopeful.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna play a game though, because they're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna watch you now, and I'm gonna ask 17,000 questions, and it becomes more of like an entertainment, and you're hosting them again, which we're all parents and we have to take care of our kids. I'm not saying just ignore them, put them out on the street, but it comes a time where you need a rest because weekends are errands. Like you're doing grocery shopping, you're doing laundry, you're cleaning the house, you're getting the lawn mowed, you're taking the kids out to wherever. We had birthday parties to go to and got to get a gift before that. So like I have no idea how people carve out the time. I think they must make it more of a bonding experience. Like they involve their kid a little bit more. I could see that totally as kind of like a family thing. Okay, this is family thing at 2:00 on Sunday. We're watching the game or whatever. But I'm not so much into sports either. It's more about like other things that are not as hard timed.
Like I've always been a big proponent of dads and moms having hobbies, because I think it's important. Because if you're like, what does your dad do? Like, what's your dad like? Oh, he's a dad. He's my dad. That's the thing he does. As opposed to he plays hockey, he does archery, he whittles, like whatever like his actual activities are. Yeah. Like I think it's important for people to be interesting in some ways, right? Because who are you otherwise if the only thing you're doing is taking care of them? So I just wonder at some point, and I suppose in many ways I'm kind of in a slice of time where it's a 3 and a 1-year-old. Yeah. And it really is fun. It's some hilarious moments too. But it's especially tricky. I can't tell them to just go off for 30 minutes. Like that doesn't exist.
No, you can't.
It's the worst too now, because if I needed to do some time, like I had to take a phone call, or I needed to go pick up something that I'd ordered, whatever, right? It's an encumbrance on the other person. And that goes with like my wife needs to go shopping and buy something. That means I have to take the 2 kids, right? And if I wanted to watch something, she has to watch the 2 kids. Yeah. So your time equals some like the other partner's double time.
Yep. It's got to be an agreement. You can't just like shove it over and be like, okay, tag out, time to go. I don't know. I find your time really does come in at the end of the night, kind of when they're packed away or even cooling down. And that's where you can kind of spend your time. So if you tape the game and then watch it later, I know that sounds lame. And people have probably like posted the scores everywhere and celebrated. You're just late to the party like every dad. You're just like disheveled, tired.
That's not one thing where it's there's this one recaps of the game where they just take out all the in-betweens.
Oh, there you go.
Which is, at that point, it's like it's only 10 minutes. Like, there's very little football in a football game, right? But for me, is more what I liked about it. And again, I'm telling you, I'm not a big football fan, but it's more just the ceremony of it, where it's the big game and it's all this hoopla about it, and everybody kind of gets stoked up for Sunday. Like, it's kind of enticing, and it just, especially from a dad perspective, it got me thinking on, like, how do you ever have the time? And I don't know. I guess we're waiting until they're teenagers, buddy. I will say that what's been really remarkable for me, and in some ways there's kind of no way to say it without kind of sounding bad, but again, I trust we're all dads here, so it's great. These last like few months, I think I've really kind of turned a corner with weekends with the family, where in some ways it always kind of felt like I couldn't do what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah, like almost like intruding kind of thing.
Yeah, like I needed to get this piece of work done, or I wanted to see a movie, or go here, or I had like this list of things to do, and it's like the family was getting in the way of that. And I'm saying that bluntly because again, I trust that like they wouldn't be judged as harshly. But these last few weekends, and even for a few months, like it's been much more joyous. It's like, yeah, the weekend is like the family time. That's when I'm going to be with my kids, and that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And there's a huge turning. It's been really wild to have that kind of turn the corner. And it might be finally because the age, especially with him being 3, and even the 1-year-old where he's kind of romping around. He's not like helpless infant anymore. Like
I think that would help quite a bit because you can do things with them, right? You can take them to events and actually interact with them instead of just staring at them for 8 hours until they go to bed.
Trying to help them.
Trying to like, don't kill yourself kind of thing. Like, don't hurt anything.
Yeah. But I mean, like that, literally that feeling where it was kind of like, if they like, I'm not going to be able to do these things because you have to make sure, like, take care of the family. It's now instead like, yeah, this is the family time. Yeah. And this is great. Yeah. So it's this really wonderful turning. I guess I found it's kind of weird that it took so long in some ways.
Everybody has their point, right? And I guess like it just comes when it comes, and it's good that you kind of realize it too, because you wouldn't want to slug through this like it's like, oh god, here comes a Saturday again. You don't want to.
Oh, nothing but my kids.
Yeah, which we know how it's not like that, but still.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. That was such a wonderful place to be.
Good.
As usual, give myself disclaimers. It's never been bad. I've always adored being with them and such, et cetera, et cetera. But I think everyone can relate to that a bit.
Yeah.
And I guess that's my own "it gets better" message. Where, it's been very much a different feeling, which has been awesome. But how have you been feeling with Father Jeff?
So all this free time you keep talking about.
This mythical free time,
yeah, we decided that my wife and I decided to redo the basement, so that's been fun.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible idea.
Worst game ever.
So our basement is finished, but it has carpet in there from the original owner, and the carpet's just not in a good shape and position to be there anymore. So we decided to learn how to put in our own flooring.
Upgrade your carpenter skill, your flooring skills.
So now we got some planks down there. It took a lot of YouTube watching, which is great. Thanks on YouTube for figuring out situations where I would have no clue. So it was good to kind of learn something, but man, it takes time to do that. And it took us probably a couple months to finish it out, just because you go to work all day, you come home, you get supper on, you get them to bed, and then you're exhausted. We might have done like one row of planks and then be like, it's bedtime. Like, this is it.
And that's it. So, we did our row.
Yeah, so it's finally done, which is great to have the kids to have their own space again. They've been up on the mid-level with us, and it's kind of been like a crammed situation. So they like it. They kind of had a hand in some of the building of it, even if it was just cleaning up their toys. And we're going through all the old stuff again. So hopefully it turns out, man, that's awesome. So much time.
Well, congrats. That's a huge level up. That's fantastic. It's nice you did it yourself, too.
It was good to learn something too, right? Like, it's, again, like something I wouldn't have attempted by myself. Not really a DIY guy. So again, YouTube comes in great and handy.
I don't know how people existed before YouTube. It's just like
really, like, seriously, it's just, I don't know, I guess, and make some unfortunate financial mistakes doing it and then calling someone.
Yeah, houses used to be cheaper, so you just used to, if it didn't work out, you burnt it down.
Yeah, you just
started fresh. This one's done. Forget it.
Yeah. So
mind you, it's also the group that ended with asbestos and tube wiring. So it's not, you can't. Can't give him too much credit. That's the fantastic news. So now, is there a gaming corner down there, or is it just all kids sections?
My kids, the kids stuff is merging with the gaming corner. They're getting to an age now where I'm not having my dedicated space anymore. So, which is fine. They're kind of at that age that they can take care of it, and they kind of know how to respect the hardware and software. So it's all kind of merging together.
That's almost that's exciting, actually, if you think about it. Like, your kids are slowly merging into the gaming side too, and just like more opportunity to play with them. They're starting to
share the same space too, right? Where it's they don't feel like kids. Maybe they're just dad plays this, and I am on the same TV, same console as him. That's kind of, I don't know, cool to me. I never got that experience with my parents, but as gaming dads, It's kind of like a rite of passage now. So we'll see how that turns out.
Brave new world. Yeah, the one of the not this week's episode, but an upcoming Gaming Dad Victory has kids exactly to my ages, and I can't spoil their Gaming Dad Victory, but the game they're playing is awesome.
Yeah,
but they were kind of putting out the question too, like what would you play for a 3-year-old?
Yes,
and it's just it's actually kind of thing I've been working on that. Where the only game I had succeeded with was No Man's Sky, where he liked the animals. He was like, tell me where to fly the ship. That was awesome. Not much else yet. Like,
no.
I don't know if you... Sounds kind of tricky. I don't know if you remember any 3-year-old games.
Not that he could participate in. Is to watch at?
What do you even like to watch?
Well, it was on PlayStation. If we're talking PlayStation, Rayman was a really good one because it was animated.
Yeah.
And it was lots of colors. It was vibrant. Tearaway I've mentioned before. That was when he was about 4 and could play it himself. But that was a good one because, again, the colors of construction paper. Nothing with like a crazy amount of movement. Because I remember Rocket League, and he didn't like Rocket League too much because it was just like a lot of camera angles everywhere, and I wasn't very good at it. So,
No. You weren't good at it because the kids were there. You see, they were distracting. So, yeah. You were on point.
Yeah. But Mario, everything Mario, we had a Wii, so it was Mario Galaxy was a great one. Even for them just to hear Mario, I don't know, it's something kid-like about him that
let's go.
Yeah, that's me, a Mario. So yeah, there's a few games out there, but it's really difficult to kind of find something that kind of you like as well as they can kind of stomach. So you'll get there. There's lots of choice out there, but
we should keep a tally. We should keep reaching out to the legion of new dads we're speaking to these days.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking, it recalls the fact that I've put together something this week that I've been meaning to put together for a while. Speaking of like games that I like or want to get through.
Okay.
So I am like most everybody. I think everybody's kind of bad for buying games, especially in the Steam era. Yep. Bad for buying games and then never playing them.
Yes.
it just feels especially criminal now because of how good some of these games are, right? It's not just kind of this fun thing that you can kind of play a little bit and it's in your library. Like some of these games are like cultural touchstones, especially from a gaming perspective, and I own them. And I haven't even touched them, so it's been weighing on me a bit. And I've alluded to this now like for a few episodes, but like this week I wrote it down.
Okay.
I wrote down my list of games that I have to beat.
Okay.
Like before I buy another game, with probably with probably one exception. There's one game I've been waiting for a long time to come out. Style game. Hold on.
It's your gateway game. You can't make exceptions.
I think you'll go with me on this one. Like,
all right.
For any of our past E3 shows, or even like any gaming announcement shows, what's the one genre of game that I've really wanted? If you can think.
The past E3 games?
And any number of them. Just like, man, I hope they release this style game.
I could really go. I always say Space Sim, but you've got those, and you're never going to finish them.
I was gonna say, so boxing. I don't know if you remember, like, so.
Oh yeah, Fight Night, like a Fight Night thing.
Exactly. I've been keep waiting for a Fight Night. So for PSVR.
Oh yes.
They're releasing Creed.
Yep.
Which looks stunning. It looks so cool. I think that is the one exception I'll make, because boxing game for VR looks amazing. There's another one out with kind of the cartoon characters. You're fighting like an octopus, and that one also looks stellar. So I wouldn't want to put shade on that one, but the Creed one looks so much like a Fight Night, and it's VR, so that's the one exception.
All right,
that's almost like I'll put that. I'd almost put that on that list somewhere.
All right,
so here we go.
Red Dead Redemption 2, but you're gonna go.
I'd have to play Red Dead Redemption.
Oh no, okay, we're not gonna add to your list. We're not gonna add to it. We're just gonna get rid of that one.
So here's a list in order, and I'll say this: it actually started with Moss, but I beat Moss.
Oh, nice, yes.
Oh, geez. Okay. So this is another tangent. Okay, we're going to get to this list. Moss, I will still peg as one of the greatest games I've ever played.
That is high praise.
I know. I think it's
top tier.
That would not exist if it wasn't in VR. That's very much part and parcel to being I'm not saying it's one of the greatest VR games. I'm saying literally it's one of the greatest games I've ever played. A lot of that coming from the fact that it's in VR. Because the design, the aesthetic, the intimacy that you have with this character.
Yeah.
The levels are a lot of fun. It's so interactive when you're moving it. The emotion, the expression. When you're fighting the final boss, which is a snake, and if you've ever played the demo, like you've seen that it's a snake.
Yep.
Like the size and the fact that it's just right there in that space with you is terrifying. Like it's so unnerving. It's amazing. It's such an incredible experience, like an effect, right?
Yeah.
So that's
I remember
why
the demo being amazing, so I can only imagine the full game.
So good. It's definitely one of the greatest games I've ever played. The music, sound, they nailed it. But I beat it. So that was the number one on my list.
Yay!
And I beat that game. So all that high praise.
Yes.
That ending sucked.
Oh my god.
So like, it stopped on a cliffhanger, which will like bleed into like Moss Book 2.
Right.
And screw that, man. I just no. There's ways they could have done it, and the way they did it was like, hey, you rescue this, and that's so wonderful, but there's another princess in another castle.
Another castle, no.
Except another castle's another game, and it's just, oh, come on, dude.
Wow.
I don't even know, and who knows if they even release it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say next. I'm like, I don't know how sales were, but maybe they don't release another one. Then you're stuck. The first game you completed leaves you on a cliffhanger that's gonna go nowhere. So
that was upsetting, but. Even despite all that, like it's you got the ending you wanted. It's just the cliffhanger thing was nonsense, and I still hold in that regard. That was number one on my list, and I beat it. Okay. Yeah, check mark.
Yay!
So here it is. This is the order I think I'm going to do this in. Right? Because in some ways that's also because of how far I am in the game, or like that's how much I've actually played it. Yeah. So Doom.
Oh, Doom! You still haven't beat Doom?
I have not. Your reaction to everything on this list. So I've played Doom, enjoyed Doom.
It's like 3 years ago, isn't it?
It's pretty far. I'm pretty far. That's not going to take long. I want to check that off. That game was so wild when it came out. It was such a breath of fresh air, of doomy demon air.
Yep.
When it came out. So Doom's number one.
Okay.
God of War. I want to beat that. Man,
I am disappointed in you.
It's only because I'm so close on Doom.
God of War.
Close, and I've had that for longer. So I'm not saying this is like a ranking of the best games.
No, I know, but still, beat the game.
Fine, disappointment's fair. God of War, Dad of War.
Yes,
the game custom built for this podcast.
Right, exactly.
I haven't beat it.
Yeah.
So Doom, God of War, No Man's Sky.
There's no way you're gonna complete that one. I'm not gonna comment on everyone, but that one you're not. It's infinite.
No, it has an ending. There is a story arc. I'm talking about finishing the story arc.
They keep adding to it, don't they?
No. There is a set story arc, and each time they do a big blowout edition, I think it changes a bit. But there's a story. I'm going to finish that story arc. I don't know how long I've been a No Man's Sky apologist and lover, and never actually beat the damn thing. So that's embarrassing.
Okay,
this is all embarrassing. Okay.
Yep.
This is me laying myself bare. This has been a very open episode. Doom, God of War, No Man's Sky, Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, yes.
The game that I have been waiting to play for like 15, 20 odd years.
Yeah, it's been, and you were all excited for the remaster, and then what happened?
A lot of other things, Jeff. I got 2 kids, Jeff. I got 2 kids. I wake up every night not knowing where I am, man. Come on. Doom, God of War, No Man's Sky, Shadow of the Colossus, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, yes, another big one.
That game, again, just blew everybody out of the water. What is this thing? This game is so good. I didn't touch it.
Okay, all right.
So at least with all those other ones I've at least like mostly touched before. A lot of these new ones I haven't. So Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Okay. That
one looked amazing. I really always wanted that. Fallout.
Okay. There's no way you're going to make through that one. Fallout 4, right? We're not talking about the series.
We can make it happen. I can save my kid. It's Fallout 4. We can make it happen.
I think your kid will be as old as you by the time that gets finished.
as long as I don't get too, again, what I'm going to have to, I really have to change my game style and just really steamroll ahead.
Yeah.
Don't get too involved with the side quests.
No. Gotta go right main quests. Main quests only.
Exactly.
No grinding. No.
Shadow of Mordor, a game that's been, which the world desperately tried to get me to buy for the better part of like 4 years.
Yeah.
It's like now it's $4. Now it's $1.
Exactly.
I will pay you $4 to add this to your library. Well, in fact, the way I have it is with PS Plus. I got it for free.
Yeah,
like it's in my library.
Right?
So it used to be $5. It used to be like $3. Then Steam, PlayStation's fine. Just take it and play.
You still haven't opened it. Why?
Okay. Now these other ones.
Yep.
There's a lot of VR titles that it's not so much like get in and beat it. I think these ones are going to be a bit more in between, a little bit of like appetizers for the game. Like it's not. For instance, there's like Ultra Wings.
Okay.
Which is the flight one, and it's just beat all the missions, get all the planes.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not so much like I want to ensure that I kind of get all the planes though.
Right.
But that's
kind of
less
like trophy hunting, but not really. Just kind of completing.
Just really experiencing the game like that I had bought because it's amazing, and that's the same thing for Drive Club, which is the release title. But just get all the cars. You know what I mean? Like just because I love that game, love that driving game.
That's a lot of cars.
It's a lot of cars. The Raw Data, which was this great shooter for PSVR, that'd be great. Mario 3DS, which again I think that'll be kind of an in between thing where just if during a commute, during whatever, like a little bit of Mario. Yeah. So the next one's a scary one, so I want to achieve. You're shaking your head like don't say it. After all those other things, with Street Fighter.
Yes.
I want to achieve silver rank. So you start at like whatever basic bronze, and then you go super bronze, and then you go silver.
So how hard is silver? Like how hard are we talking? Like
anybody who puts in some practice should be able to do it. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. I'm not saying like you have to do this in a month.
Yeah, right. All right. No, but that could be like your Mario. Like you practice at it here and there.
Slowly, it's just it's funny because it's really drawing me back in. There's a really amazing series on YouTube called Don't Mash Buttons.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
If you want to get into fighting games, I recommend it. This is so cool because the way they tell you basically to get from bronze to super bronze is like you do 5 moves.
That's it. You just master these 5.
It's not even combos. Not like nothing complex. You do these 5 moves and you can get up to super bronze because it's just training you to know that this is how you should react when these things happen. To dodge this is the one move you do.
Okay.
If they jump at you, you press this button. If you're close, you push this punch button. That's the main damage you do. And they've broken it down to so
like army. Like you're like no.
So between a bunch of really cool matches from Evo and other things, and then finding that series, it's like I would like to commit and try to get into achieve my rank. So silver on Street Fighter.
Okay,
that's not gonna be happening for a while. I got that whole other list. So the Trevor list of games to beat. Sorry, and then into the VR would be Creed because we'll buy that for the boxing.
Yes,
that's just gonna be some box from time to time.
Yeah,
we'll call it fitness. It's not fitness.
Right? Yeah, it's totally exercise.
Good. So we're looking at Doom, God of War, No Man's Sky, Shadow of the Colossus, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ori and the Blind Forest, Fallout, Shadow of Mordor, Raw Data, Ultra Wings, Drive Club on the VR, Mario 3DS, and getting to silver on Street Fighter.
So just doing some quick calculations here. Let's see. We're looking at... 250 hours, 300 maybe. How many days is that?
You spend about 2 hours a week gaming. So
you might as well just not sleep. You might as well game while you're laying down with your son. Just like a little bit of Mario, a little bit of VR. Just put on the VR headset right beside him. Just hold on.
Well, I think I do very much the dad sin as far as, or even just call it the gamer sin, where unless it feels like unless I have like this hour chunk of time or this 2 hour chunk, I don't attempt a lot of games.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get in and just like, and Fallout was horrific. I actually cheated in Fallout because I was so tired of it. Was the inventory. It's like, oh, you don't have space anymore.
Yeah, I hate those
so now I'm
things.
scrolling through inventory wheels.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, there's my 30 minutes. I don't have any more game time.
Yeah.
So I cheated. I said infinite inventory. That's nonsense. That's so dumb
Right.
that it's ruining my experience.
That should just be a dad option. Just like something like, you don't have time for this. Just carry what you want. It's a magical game. Just carry
you, buddy.
80 bricks. Who cares?
So, yeah, we'll see how long this list takes, but I want to get it done. But I think it's get past the hump of just like put in a little time here and there, get over yourself, and just try to enjoy games again in that way.
Yeah,
it's 30 minutes. Get in a little bit of God of War, a little bit of No Man's Sky. Don't worry about having to find 2 hours because that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So just kind of shed that thinking and get into some of these games again and enjoy it. Enjoy some games because you have so many unbelievable games to experience.
Right. If you don't enjoy the games, are you going to drop them or are you going to complete them? Like, are you going to shove through them?
That is
like,
awesome.
Mordor might have been great 8 years ago or whenever it came out. But now, do you know what I mean? Like, now it might be like, it's good. I experienced it. Or I left with enough and you just called it. Do you know what I mean?
That's actually really fair, because especially for some of the games, so Shadow, No Man's Sky, God of War, Doom, I'm confident. I like them. I enjoy those ones. So I'll get through. Now, Ori, so Horizon Zero Dawn, Ori, and Shadow Mordor I've never touched.
Right.
So I'd say, yeah, like if I hate it, forget it. My time is way too precious.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, don't pressure yourself to finish it just to finish it when you hate it.
Yeah, this isn't a game review site. This is
no.
So
no,
if I don't like
trying to have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's not part of the rule. I will definitely just drop it like a bad habit if I don't like it.
Good.
Like, no, thank you. Not. Yeah. Man, I'm trying to remember the last time that happened. There's been a few where it's just like not feeling it. That's enough of this.
It's hard to do that, but once you do it and kind of leave it, or even delete it and not even see it again, you kind of forget about it. Because I have done that as well. I don't think I've ever completed an Assassin's Creed game. Like, nice. I'll get maybe to the final mission and I'll be like, you know what? Like, there's so much going on right now. It's great. I'm good. I'm just gonna step away. And those endings, from what I hear, aren't the greatest. So maybe I
was tempted
myself.
to put Black Flag on there, Assassin's Creed 4, but no.
Black Flag is amazing, but again, it's a 10-year-old game.
That's not a dad game. I'm sorry.
It's not a you game because there's a lot of side quests and shiny things off in the distance that you have to explore, and
there's a lot of old ladies to save.
That's right. Yeah.
My usual pitfall. Yeah. But here I am. I'm capitulating and struggling with games and how to finish them. That might just be my own issue because there are so many dads out there doing such a great job of gaming and being a dad, and those dads win Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad, and often there are kids who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well. So this week's victory goes to Josh, known online as Thumpist, which is an awesome name, who pulls off a clutch move, thus proving to doubting parent-in-laws and the world that there's always a way to balance a little gaming with fatherhood. So Jeff, if you've opened up the photo that they've shared,
yes.
What are we looking at here?
So we're looking at a little newborn, like sound asleep, nice and tucked, swaddled away in a little bed on a desk next to a monitor, having a game. So perfect setup where you can game while the little one sleeps, and there's no harm, no foul. It's perfect. It's a great setup.
That timing is so perfect. I mean, at that stage, the kids are very much sack of potatoes. Like they just go where they want to be. They like lights. They're so easy, and they sleep.
They sleep for a long time. Yeah.
So those minutes of sanity, like putting it beside the monitor, get your 10 to 30 minutes of sanity while they're grabbing a sleep. Yeah. Beautiful move. It is the ultimate second monitor.
That's right. Who needs a baby monitor when you have another monitor? But I will recommend, if he hasn't got himself a good pair of headphones, he should do that now. Just that was a good sense for me.
Yeah, it's made all the better too. I could just imagine where at some point the parents-in-law who said, you're going to have to be careful with the game. You're not really going to be able to be gaming and be a father. And then they walk in and see this baby monitor setup, and it's like, oh yeah?
Yeah, I think there's video of me holding my newborn son in one of those front carrier packs with a controller behind his head, and I'm playing, I can't remember what it was, but it was like an online game, like Killzone or something like crazy violent, but he's sound asleep, and like this, where he doesn't care. I'm shaking him. I'm doing the daddy dance where you're just like rocking him to sleep while playing. So this is a perfect opportunity. Do this now while you can. When you start talking, it's not the same.
See, the excuse would be that the vibration from the controller soothes the baby to sleep.
Yep, that's very true.
Now, before we wrap up the segment, though, we got to give a shout out to his Destiny 2 clan, so called Clan Stab. It's an Aussie clan. So huge shout out to his Destiny 2 career, his Destiny 2 clan, and all the people that do make that one up. Perhaps if you guys want to join it up from an Aussie clan, hit them up and ask for an invite to it. But Destiny 2, big fan of that one, especially from a dad perspective. And I'm sure the little baby loves the game too.
Agreed.
At very least could be the logo for it. So for finding the way to balance, for proving to parents-in-laws in the world and everything else, Josh, a.k.a. Thumpist, has won this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Congratulations.
Congrats.
If you would like to be nominated or know somebody else deserving, please reach out to us at our website, newdadgaming.com.
And new dads, listen up as we go over this week's highlights and what happened in the world of gaming. Insomniac's Spider-Man launched last week, quickly becoming UK's fastest-selling game of the year, even toppling the recent blockbuster God of War and longtime record holder Far Cry 5, which had multiple platform releases. Reviews on the games are stellar, but an interesting tidbit is that part of the game features a marriage proposal on a marquee in the game. Back in May, a person by the name of Tyler Schultz asked Insomniac to include a proposal to his then-girlfriend. Well, they agreed, but unfortunately ended up being the saddest Easter egg of all time. Tyler's relationship ended just weeks before the game's release, so Insomniac has reached out and offered condolences and also providing a patch to remove the artwork from the game. While this didn't turn out to be so great, it's still pretty cool that a company listened to its gaming community and implemented something within their game. But maybe you can cheer yourself up with a new PSVR bundle? Sony is sweetening the pot with 2 brand new PSVR bundles releasing in September and October. The first bundle contains the VR gem Superhot VR and the new boxing contender, as mentioned, Creed, while the next bundle contains the lovable mouse Moss, which may or may not have a great ending, alongside soon-to-be-released platformer Astrobot. The bundles range from $379 to $449 Canadian, so be sure to save your allowance money for the purchase. And Roblox, that next online gaming sensation, has secured $150 million in more funding. The game, or mobile app, allows users to create online 3D worlds and experiences and share with the over 70 million active users. Of special note, Roblox is now valued at more than $2.5 billion, which is about the same price Microsoft bought the old game called Minecraft for. Roblox plans on using that money to build infrastructure to support even more users, more options, and more of everything. So if you haven't heard about it, you probably will in the near future. As a side note, my personal experience with Roblox and my kids playing it, you just have to be very careful with the online interaction that's within the game. So there's a lot of content that goes unchecked. So parents, if you allow your kids to play it, just be vigilant on what they are consuming. And talk about the best use of gaming on a Xbox controller. How about Elon Musk and an industrial-sized boring machine? Well, Elon's The Boring Company has developed new boring hole technology that doesn't require engineers to manually reposition any dangerous tools. Instead, you can use the power of an Xbox controller from a remote controller. Maybe all the eye-hand coordination in Tetris will finally come in handy, and you can check out the video on the Boring Company's Twitter feed to see how they are Xboxing these new boring machines. and you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Sony has responded to the cross-platform controversy by saying that PlayStation is just the best place to play for gamers. Well, Xbox has responded with the multiple ads showing their support for crossplay with Nintendo and PC wherever possible, with examples like Minecraft, Rocket League, and Fortnite, and they even go on to say that PlayStation still isn't listening to gamers and that all those games could be crossplay, and Sony is doing disservice to its users. As a new dad, that games crossplay would be extremely helpful within a household with multiple consoles and kids, so we can only hope that Sony can come to its senses before they lose that gamer trust. And as for highlights for the game releases this week, we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider for PS4, Xbox, and PC, NHL 19, and Construction Simulator 2 for PS4 and Xbox. And that's basically it for the gaming news this week, but catch a nap and tune in next week for another update.
Now, one good cheers calls for another. It's time for Gaming Dad Beer Picks of the Week. So to end the summer right, we're featuring delicious beers to have alongside you during those great gaming sessions. Now, this week we actually went with different beers from what we'd chosen. Now, Jeff, I say Sidelaunch to you, and what do you think?
I say bananas.
Yeah, no. So hold on.
Okay.
Because what Sidelaunch has also produced is a pale ale.
Right. Oh, okay. All right.
There is yes. Instead of the yellow can, this is a nice teal blue can.
Yes.
So now their pale ale, it is utterly delicious. If you were turned off a little bit from their banana and clove yellow wheat beer that they had released, I loved. Jeff hates it with a passion.
I didn't like it.
Just give this one a shot. Sidelaunch, I think the funny thing with craft beers, and I think you'd agree with this, is even when you don't like it, you can kind of appreciate. It's like, okay, this is well made. I just don't.
Oh, absolutely. Like yep.
Right. So at least if it wasn't your bag, take that type of perspective on it, and see how that company would make a very straightforward pale ale. It's very light. It's a good flavor to it. Like great summer beer without being overly watery by any means. Like there's definitely something to it, but it's incredibly approachable. Super delicious. So I would recommend anybody, even if you've been put off from the banana clove wheat beer that they released, to give their pale ale a try. It's utterly delicious. So Jeff, what are you bringing this week for beers?
So I love Beau's Lug Tread, which I think is they call it like a lagered ale or something like that. Love it. It's delicious. So I tried their new one called the Full-Time IPA. So very different than what I was expecting, which is a good thing. It can be a very good thing. This thing is strong. It's at it's almost 7%, so I think it's like 6.7%.
That's a punch. Yeah.
It's bold to say the least. It does have a strong citrus flavor to it, which if you've ever been a listener on the show, it's not my favorite taste to have in a beer. Yeah. But honestly, with doing the basement renos, having this beer ice cold, it was totally refreshing. So maybe it's just the situation I need to be in, where you just need something that kind of snaps you up. And no, I totally enjoyed it. And it's something that I might go back to because I love their Lug Tread beer, and this one that's the IPA. I love my IPAs, and this is a good one to have. So I totally recommend it. It's a really cool can too. It's got this retro style IPA, so you can't miss it. It is yellow. It's not Sidelaunch, but it's yellow IPA on it from Beau's.
Yes, I think that's on point because I think the citrus really adds something in heat. So when it's summer, you're outside, it's barbecue. Like having that slight tinge of citrus is a bit more refreshing. Or you're toiling against the basement. I struggle with it a bit. You know, as we start to get into colder months, it's kind of like when you start switching into porters and other type of kind of heavier stuff, and like citrus seems a little bit out of place. So I can see on that. But I've been a huge fan of a lot of citrus beers, so I would check that one out based on your recommendation. Actually.
Yeah, man.
That sounds good. All right, so we've been featuring a lot of beers coming from the New Dad Gaming community. So if you send us a note through the website, through our Facebook, or any other method, we'd love to get your picks and suggestion for beers. Send them along, and cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Now, we're running a little bit long, but so I think we'll wrap it up there for the week. Again, thank you everybody so much for listening. As I said, we're going to be working really diligently this next while to try to get this on track as far as the release schedule goes. But, I got a big old game list to get through, and we both got 2 kids. So. So I think there's a lot of understanding. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and anywhere else you find your podcasts. If you have show ideas, questions, beer picks, gaming ideas, anything you could pitch to us, you can find us at the website, newdadgaming.com, our Facebook group, Twitter, and any of the other social media sites. If you can, we'd greatly appreciate a subscription, pass along, a rating, anything else you can do, and most notably, any other gaming dads who have babies and games.
That's basically it. Yes, babies and games and no time.
Baby, and maybe a big old list that they got to get done too. We'd love to hear about that. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a big old gaming list. I should do a countdown.
You should.
My name is Trevor, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. My name is Trevor. I have 13 games to get through, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Those things are entirely exclusive to one another.
And I'm Jeff. I'm following along Trevor's big bucket of list of games to complete with an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
I like to think in a supportive role. You can do it. You can do it.
Yay, Trevor. Go, Trevor.
You can beat that game. At least 2 by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's right. I hope. Let's hope.
The great thing will be to watch like the game that breaks him. The new game that gets announced and just like, but I just got
really need it. Surprise announcement.
It's an actual boxing game. Oh, man, wait a minute. I didn't even put Creed on here. So that's 14.
Oh, okay. Now you're already adding to it. That's great.
Hold on. I gave myself that one out. Creed. Oh, damn. 14 games.
There you go.
And still a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Bye, man.
See you later. Good luck.